Big days. We all just want to do big days. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, the Beast of Ecom, and I am back with another video dropping nothing but, you already know, value bombs. Now, if this is the first time ever watching one of my videos, first and foremost, where have you been? You've missed out on tons of value, and if it isn't, then it's nice to see you again. Please do, if you get some value, like, comment, and of course smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well, so that you stay up to date with my latest content. Why? Because you do not want to miss out on any of my upcoming videos. So today I want to talk about scaling and a specific method on how you can take your campaigns from $1,000 to $10,000. Now, scaling is an art. It's not a one size fits all. Now, a lot of gurus out there may say do X, Y, and Z and scale your campaigns. Me, on the other hand, it doesn't quite work like that. What I'd rather do is tell you different strategies, and then you can apply the best that works for your ad account, because again, not every single person's ad account is the same. Now, using this method of lookalike audiences is one of the most powerful ways you can scale your campaigns. Why? Because Facebook works off data, and the more data you can give Facebook, the better. The more specific data you can give Facebook, even better. So what I'm going to talk about is how lookalike audiences work, how to best use them, and how you can scale your campaigns from $1,000 to $10,000. So make sure you watch all of the video, consume all of the information, and most importantly, take action and implement. That's the most important. Everything else is irrelevant if you don't take action. And of course, if you get some value, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. So let's quit the talking, let's jump into the computer, and let's jump into some value. Okay, so let's jump into this. Scaling your Shopify store from 1,000 to 10,000 with Facebook ads, okay? More specifically, lookalike audiences. Now, this is just one way of using lookalike audiences, which are probably the most powerful way to use and scale, okay? Now, again, I'm using the presentation, and a lot of people said that they like to use the presentation, so I'm trying to use it as much as I possibly can. So moving on, why lookalike audiences? Okay, now the first thing I want to mention before going any further, okay, is for this to work, you need to have your pixel properly set up on your website. If you haven't got your pixel on Facebook pixel set up on the website, you can't create custom audiences, which means you can't create lookalike audiences. Okay, so Facebook have got loads of different, and there's YouTube videos on how to set up your pixel on your website, so I won't be going over that. But why lookalike audiences? Now, lookalike audience is an audience that is similar to the custom audience data that you give to Facebook. Remember, Facebook know way more about the person on their platform who are more likely to convert, to a specific offer than you will ever do, or you will ever know. So, you may be targeting cold interests and all that sort of stuff, which are great. But the next step is, doing the custom audiences and then creating lookalike audiences and letting Facebook do the heavy work. Let them find the people for you. Okay, let them create the people and the audiences, because at the end of the day, they're going to be more targeted and more specific. Why? Because Facebook know way more about the people on their platform than you will ever know. They know and own all of that data. So, for example, everyone who added a product to their cart, you can create a custom audience, okay, for every person who added a product to your cart. So if you're selling a, whatever it may be, a dog lead, let's just say a dog lead, and you're running traffic, you can then create a custom audience for everyone who has added that product to their cart. So, those people are showing buying intent, which means they're much more down the funnel than the person who clicked on the product and just went away. So you can say to Facebook, okay, I want more people who are going to add the product to the cart, who are more hot leads, who are more warm leads than just the cold interests. So that's just one example. And they are, like I've mentioned, the most powerful way to scale campaigns when done correctly, without a doubt. Okay, creating custom audiences and scaling via lookalike audiences is the best way, and hands down the most powerful way to scale your Facebook campaigns from the 1,000 to 10,000. Okay, now just to give you a visualization, I'll get that out, a visualization of how the whole system works. So the customer takes an action on your site. For example, they viewed the content, they viewed the page, or they added the product to the cart, or they initiated checkout, or they purchased. Okay, so a customer takes an action. Then what happens is, like I've mentioned, once you've got your Facebook pixel all set up correctly, the pixel will then capture that data. And then Facebook can build the custom audiences. Okay, so for example, they might have 500 people who have added to the cart, 500 people who have purchased, or 500 people who viewed the product page. Okay, now then obviously once you create a lookalike audience, you can Facebook then find similar people in that custom audience, and that will generate your lookalike audience. So that's how it works. This is the whole flow of the system, okay? Right from the customer taking the action, to the pixel capturing the data, to Facebook building a custom audience, and then creating your lookalike audience in these last two, okay? Now, when to use lookalike audiences? Well, a lot of people don't do this, but you need to set up your custom audiences before you actually run your campaign. I always do it, okay? Always have everything set up beforehand, before you even start running the traffic, so that you've got it there and then. Don't just start running traffic and then go back and creating, because sometimes you can forget. And I've done it many of times where, I'm running traffic to a product, and then I look in my audiences to go and create my lookalike audience, and I think, damn, I haven't actually set it up. Now, even if you do set it up in the later stages, it will still recall all of the data, because you can set how many days you keep them in that audience. But just for me, I like to set all of my custom audiences up before I even run the campaign, before I even run traffic, okay, before I even put the campaign live, which is what you always want to do. Make sure you put audiences before, okay. Now, wait for the custom audience to be built. Now, a lot of people are going to say, where'd you wait for? What are your bench rules? Well, to give you my sort of bench rules, again, they differ depending on what sort of campaign I'm running and what sort of product I'm running and stuff like that. But if I'm doing a video, then generally about 1,000 video views, and they have to be over 95%, around about 800 to 1,000 view contents. Again, I'm spending quite a bit of money, but that is what I generally find. And then anything from 250 to about 500 add to carts, and then 250 purchases is okay. But again, they're just rough benchmarks, and again, there's their numbers to go by, but again, it depends on the campaign and all those sorts of things what I go off. But again, what you'll generally find is that if you haven't hit 1,000, what will happen is in Facebook it will just say less than 1,000. Now, if you want to find out the exact numbers, okay, you have to use the analytics in your business manager to be able to find out the specific numbers. And if you're using content IDs, which I would advise to use with doing custom audiences and lookalike audiences, then you can just putting your content ID in the analytics, and it will show you exactly how many people have took that action, rather than it just saying less than, which can be annoying. They took it away for some reason, God knows why. Now, the more data that Facebook has, the better and stronger the lookalike audience will be. Okay, and this is why I mentioned previously is I don't really have so much set benchmarks, because if something is working on the cold end, sometimes I might wait a little bit longer just to let that audience build up a little bit more. Okay, you might be on the lower end of having say 500 view contents, but you're converting fantastically with cold audiences. You might want to wait to a little bit longer till it gets to like the 800 mark for then to start to go and build on to your custom audiences. Remember, the more data that Facebook has, the better. It will always be that way. And remember, like I mentioned to start with, Facebook knows more about the people on their platform than you ever will know. Okay, so it's always important to give Facebook as much data as you possibly can, which is probably another reason why you can set your time dates to 180 days or something like that to just give Facebook more data. Okay, that's the main aim, that's the main goal. Now, the best lookalike audiences to use. Now, these are the ones that I use. Again, these are the kind of the best ones that you should be using, and you should all be testing every single one of them, okay? Of course, if your budget allows for it. I know some people don't have the budget to test things all in one go. You might do it in stages, but video views, 75% to 95%. I never really go less than that. 95% is always the best, and they're going to be your fastest to build. Always going to be the fastest ones to build. Your view content, of course, your add to carts, your initiate checkouts, and your purchases. Again, you always want to do those, and obviously you're going to leave your purchase ones till last, because obviously down the funnel you're always going to get more. So you're going to get more view contents are going to be easier than add to carts, and then initiate checkouts will be less and less, and all those sorts of things. So you can't just do them all in one go, okay? They're going to progress as stages go on. Now, here's one that a lot of people generally neglect, and page engagers, which is again fantastic to do. If you're running a page and you've got you're selling dog stuff or whatever it may be, run a lookalike audience for everyone who has engaged on that page. Create a custom audience, okay? And then again, run your lookalike audiences that way. A lot of people neglect it. Do not neglect that one. Now, test everything, okay? 1%, 1 to 2%, 2 to 3%, all the way up to 10%. You need to be testing absolutely everything, because it's going to open up the more opportunities. And, what you will find sometimes is, just because it's 1%, just to give you a bit of background, but the 1% will be the closest match to that custom audience, okay? Again, it will move down the line, 1% and then 2% and then 3%, being further and further away of being as close match to that custom audience. So 1% in theory should be your best audience, but I've been doing Facebook for years on end, and that is never the case, okay? Sometimes you will have 1% will absolutely flop, yet my 8 to 10% will absolutely be killing it, okay? So that is one reason why I don't just use 1%, okay, or don't just use 1 to 2%, even though in theory they should be the best looking audience, or the best custom audience, the best lookalike audience. Sometimes when you just test, you find that 5% is absolutely crushing it, or 10% is crushing it, or even 8% is just crushing it. So it's important to always test everything, like I said. Now, of course, you need to kill the losers and scale the winners. That goes without saying. So if you're spending money, and your 1% is a dud, cut it. It's as simple as possible. Don't think just because it's the 1% that you have to use it, and you have to be, this has to be the best one because it's 1%. No, forget all that, okay? Go off the numbers. That's the only thing that matters. If it's showing you cost per purchases at a nice price, okay, then, scale that audience. Just because it's 1% doesn't mean anything, okay? Test it. And of course, test different countries as well. So your best performing countries, if all your purchases are in the US, then best place to start your custom lookalike audiences will be the US, and then just do maybe the tier ones if you want to, or group it all together and do EEA. There's NAFTA, there's all sorts of different ones that you can test. But basically what lookalike audience will open up is a ton of people who are more specific and more likely to convert to your product or offer, because Facebook has got the data, they've correlated it together, and they've matched people. And that's what Facebook do. They put everyone into different buckets, okay? People who view content, who like cats, okay? People who purchase stuff that are like cats, people who purchase cooking stuff, who are a certain age range. And then what these lookalike audience will do is Facebook will go out and find people more like that person who are taking that action. And that's what you want. And of course, last but not least, value bombs. So as always, I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, please do like, comment, and of course, smash that subscribe button so you stay up to date with my latest videos, and hit the notification bell so you become a part of the notification gang. So I hope you can see how powerful lookalike audiences are and why you need to be using them in every single campaign that you do if of course they reach that stage. Remember, Facebook knows way more about their customers and their people on their platform than you ever do. Okay, so feed them the data. Once you give them the data, let them do all of the hard work, let them do all the legwork, and let them create you with custom audiences that you can test out. So that is it for this video. I have got a free mastermind group. The link is down below. Click in it. I'm in there. Other marketers are in there, all helping each other out with e-commerce, Shopify, dropshipping, and all of that good stuff. And of course, I have got a free course as well. The link for that is down below. If you want to reach out to me on a personal basis, best place is probably Instagram. It will pop up on the screen. Drop me a like, drop me a DM, drop me a follow, and we can try and connect on there. So that is it for this video. Take care, and I'll see you again back with another video dropping nothing but, you already know, value bombs, as I always do. So take care, and I'll see you later.